Welcome to Plus 380, where we open the mic to a diverse range of voices passionate about Ukraine. From esteemed academics shedding light on geopolitics to vibrant lifestyle bloggers exploring the culture, we're dedicated to sharing captivating stories that celebrate Ukraine. Tune in on KCL Radio today.
Hi everyone, welcome to the first episode of Plus 380. Today we're here all together with our committee of KCL Ukrainian Society. My name is Lila, and while our agenda will have more academic direction in the future, today we decided to come all together and talk about our lives, our plans, our perspectives, and just have a great time. So as I said before, my name is Lila, and actually it's not necessarily true. My name is Lila, but everyone calls me Lila here. I'm from Kiev. I'm a second-year student and doing digital media and culture in Kings. Who wants to present?
I'll continue. So I'm Victoria, but Vika. I'm from Kiev as well, like all of us here are from Kiev. So I'm second-year culture, media and creative industries student here at Kings, and that's it.
Hi everyone, I'm Nika, just Nika. I'm second year here at King's and I'm studying mathematics.
Hey, I'm Amalia. I'm a first year student at King's. I'm studying international relations.
Hi everyone, I'm Nick, although I guess if we're exposing ourselves it's Makuta. I'm also from Kiev and I do final year economics here at King's College.
And last one, my name is Sam. They also call me Salmione. That's
Who called you this way?
It's actually Samen. I am in second year economics here at King's.
Okay, should we talk about like how we apply to King's and how we?
Yeah, I think it would be nice to start with the discussion about the application process, how everyone ended up here. Maybe we can have like a couple of people discuss it.
We can start.
Sure. So, as I said, I'm a first year student and I've been living in London for literally a month and a half now. Before that, I've been living in the United States for the last 6 years, and before that I was living in Kyiv. And my experience applying from the United States is going to be a little bit different than anyone else's experience applying from schools in Ukraine. But I kind of applied on a whim. A year ago, I didn't know about King's because I feel like it is more known domestically rather than it is internationally. And it just kind of happened accidentally. I got in, then I started learning about the school, I fell in love, and I got here.
That's
Fell in love with
really nice.
what?
The university.
The university? Oh, okay, my bad.
Oh yeah, the American slang of like calling university school, college, anything but the university.
Yeah, these Americans.
It's a bit confusing, for sure. Should we hear from someone from Ukraine? Their sort of journey.
Are we gonna mix like this, or are we gonna?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Well, I can go. I finished high school in Ukraine. Then I applied to King's to do foundation because I knew that I want to do undergraduate program here in King's. It was pretty straightforward. Beside the fact that it was during COVID, so I basically stayed in Ukraine and I did my foundation program online. So I didn't really have, even though like King's, in normal times, King's promised for foundation students to have like a full student experience, and you're kind of like undergraduate already, and you have access to all the libraries, everything in bars, if you're 18, obviously. But I kind of had it online, and then I passed, and I came here for the first year, and I'm still here. Yeah.
So with the foundation, do you just have to pass, or how does it work?
It works like, so there's like a minimum, it's 65%, so which is like 2-1. I had 70.
Well done.
Thank you. It wasn't cheating at all.
Okay.
It was pretty easy. It was really interesting and pretty easy as well. And it's yeah, since it was like different systems, it was really interesting for me to have like this first year as an introduction to learn about the system. But I feel we're gonna talk about it afterwards.
Are the entry requirements the same if you do foundation, or are they lower?
What I mean?
Yeah, it's
Like
the
to
same for
get into-
everyone.
To
They're the
get
same.
into to get into foundation or to
Yeah,
get into
to get into
PhD?
foundation.
To get into foundation, it was pretty high. I don't know, Vika, was it high for you? Because it was pretty high for me. It was like, so like in Ukraine, it's like 12 points,
feel
kind of like system.
Yeah, I feel we had like only to do IELTS exam, which was the most important part.
Yeah.
And also like marks from school.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because me and Vika, we both like applied from
Yeah.
Ukraine, but we kind of have like a little bit different passes because I was like a first COVID kid and like a boomer generation, boomer kids, but the same as COVID as well. I was the first one, so educational system in Ukraine, they kind of like didn't know how to react, so we officially had exams, like national exams that you have to pass in the end of your high school. But for me, because I was applying to the international school, it didn't count.
Okay, yeah, I had like a different experience. I came to foundation year in so-called on campus London, which was like a foundation center in Birkbeck in London. Maybe you know this university.
Where is that? Where is that?
Near
Another
UCL,
which-
near SOAS, somewhere
UCL.
there, yeah. So I did my foundation year and I just randomly applied to King's because I was told that my foundation year is not strong enough to apply to university like King's because it's like higher rated. But I just applied because I was like, okay, I should believe in myself and do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, here I am, here with you
We're
doing
happy
this
to have you
podcast
here.
for KCL Ukrainian Society.
Where else did you apply other than King's?
Goldsmiths, and then Royal Holloway, UAL, and yeah.
What?
I thought you wanted
Something
to go
else.
to like a different university. I thought you told me you wanted to go to Goldsmith over King's at first.
Yeah, I wanted to go to Goldsmiths because I was told that media and communications degree is better there, but I chose like a name of university instead of a program. So
So we have a fake Kings fan over here.
Who is a King's
I
fan
think
here?
at the end of the day, that's all that
Everyone got
matters.
rejected from
No, I'm
UCL
like-
here. Let's
I didn't apply to
I didn't
UCL.
apply as well. So I mean, it was my best choice. So yeah, I do not regret because like King's. Have you seen the campus? Like the best campus in London, and I'm
King's
just
is
enjoying.
amazing.
Bush
my
House.
life.
Bush House, not too bad. Well, moving
Yeah.
on to the
Mhm.
British education system, I'm sure Nika will be able to tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I've been here since I was 13 years old. I finished just 7 years of school in Ukraine, and I did year 9. I did 2 years of GCSEs and my A-levels here, and I applied like a regular British kid with, English Lit and English Lang, and didn't do any IELTS or
What did you
anything
get in
like
your
that.
English language?
Let's not talk about it. I
Okay,
got.
let me say, did you have to do IELTS or some sort of foreign test?
I did when I applied, but I did English language and English lit, like the normal ones, and I got 6 in both of them. But that was a COVID year, and I think if I sat an exam, I would have gotten higher. I really liked it.
Wait,
Six
out
is
of
not
how
too
many?
bad.
6 is like
Out of
very good.
9.
Oh,
Of nine.
let's not push it that much, but
Oh.
No,
It's
it's,
not
it's bad,
too
it's
bad.
bad. No, it's already good.
Wow,
If you're
that's weird.
interested,
How old were
it's a
you?
minimum. No, well, to
Uh,
be fair, it is a minimum
15,
one other than Oxford.
15.
16.
Oh, okay.
And I got 9 for everything else, apart
Oh.
from maths. I
Ah.
got 8 for maths and further maths.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my
And you're
GCSEs
studying
here.
mathematics as well.
Yeah, so that was my route. I went to my first school was a Catholic school for girls. It was really a very fun and interesting experience. How about you, Nick? You've been here for a while as well.
Yeah, well, since 2016, I think same year as you. Or
2017.
Yeah, earlier. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, my school was still is in Somerset in Bath, and yeah, similar sort of thing. Although my COVID period was during A levels, which really sucked. I mean, I hated it. I had to stay in the boarding house and just communicate with the same 6 people for like 6 months. But yeah, I because of the teachers' predicted grades, they were really good because we didn't have actual exams. So I think that really helped me to get into King's.
It saved us all, I feel like, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, although, well, as Nika said, I don't actually believe she
I
got
saved all of
8 in GCSE. So I think
8 in
if
GCSE what?
if you in GCSE maths.
Yeah.
So if you did end up sitting the actual exam, I think you would have gotten a 9.
Yeah, I think so.
Because my predicted English grade was a 4.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I ended up getting 8.
8, crazy.
3 marks of a 9.
That's crazy. English lang is really bad. I liked English lit more. It was a better subject.
Wait, why did you study in English language, like, actually? Was
Like
The language.
Like the literature.
Oh wait, no, actually,
you
you
like
study the language.
like wrote the
itself?
S. No, not how you study Ukrainian in Ukraine. You like
yeah.
you like write like text and stuff. Like
Oh,
it's
okay.
like because there's nothing to learn in English. It's not as like as hard of a language as other languages. So there's
Yeah.
not much to learn
okay,
about it.
Okay.
You know what I studied in the English language? There's like an AP English language, which is like it's considered to be a college level course. And basically, my school was extremely liberal. The last school I went to in the United States, and what we did, we had like a 10 people kind of seminar thing, and we would have like a lot. Can we cuss here?
Yeah.
We had a
Yes.
shit ton of
Yeah.
texts all the time.
That's considered a curse word.
A shit, yeah. Are we talking about the? Okay, fine. Either way, we had a lot of texts on very, very like progressive issues. We were constantly learning about like feminist issues, about like racial issues. We were learning about everything about like
It's a Democrat state, right?
basic. I mean, the thing is, it was also like a government school as well. Yeah, it was a public.
What does that
school.
mean?
Meaning.
Oh,
it
a
wasn't
state
private.
school.
I don't.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, well,
it's
yeah.
different, but yeah, literally, except for like, it's a little different in the United States. But we'll get into that later.
All right. Well, the one thing I want to hear, and I'm sure everyone else as well, is your journey, Simon.
Yes.
My
Can you tell us?
journey,
And do please start with Canada and
Canada.
how that worked, the whole Ukrainian diaspora, if that's what you.
Well, yeah, that's amazing. It was amazing.
Really?
All right.
There's a massive Ukrainian diaspora in Canada, especially where I was at Toronto. There was a
Right.
lot of Ukrainian people, Ukrainian church, Ukrainian kitchen, whatever you want, it's there. So I lived 10 years in Canada, learned in a French school actually. So that was
So that's how you know French.
yeah, that's
Wow.
how I know French. Moved here, went to French school for a little bit. In 2018 I moved here. And then my last 2 years, which is sixth form, I spent in a international IB school.
Here in London, or
Yeah, here in London, one of the only international state schools, actually.
Why
Or
IB? I heard that
IB.
it's like torture. I heard no one wants to do IB.
Yeah, let's talk about the difference like between A level, IB, and foundation.
I
I
personally
feel like we
believe
have
it.
to go through that.
Personally, I mean, I don't know what Nico will say about it, but personally, I think it's the IB people propaganda that is much harder
I
to
think
do IB. in.
A-level is
says
hard
the person
enough.
who didn't sit.
Well,
But you haven't tried A level. You
Right.
haven't tried IB.
Oh.
Yeah, but I know
At the
like
end
I
of the
heard that
day-
it's
the
much
average
harder
person
than
who
A-level.
takes IB is like generally will end up like in a like A level is just it opens doors for you in this country more than IB does. I think.
You know,
But it
for
doesn't
me,
mean it's not as hard.
yeah, for me, for person who did foundation, everything here is hard. You know?
Yeah, I feel like me and Vika were kind of like cheaters in this
Yeah.
situation, and like everyone I've talked to that did, for example, like that came, because like a lot of people I know are usually dropping the school in Ukraine at like beginning of high school to do A levels here, to do like high school.
yeah, that's the more
Yeah.
conventional route, I
And
think.
then
Mhm.
yeah, and then like apply to UK University. But I feel like foundation is way more easier to
Yeah.
do, and like to be honest, it's kind of enough to understand the system and like to be prepared for your first year. Because kind of like in the first year, it's kind of like you kind of doing the foundation all over again.
Yeah.
Because it's still like introduction. You have like at least half a year of introduction, and like you
Mhm.
know what is it, what's gonna be, and it's easier for you to like.
Yeah, but I feel that but having foundation does not give you like a possibility to apply to something like imperial or UCL or even King's in some competitive degrees. For example, I have a friend who did foundation in like something math and economics, and she was rejected by King's for economics and finance only because it was foundation.
But she
it wasn't
did
strong
foundation
enough.
in King's, or
No, she did foundation like outside.
Yeah,
of
I mean, but for that, like, I feel that
Yeah,
with
okay.
foundation, you kind of need to know in advance to what uni you want to apply. Because
Yeah.
for example, like, I have some people that I know that wanted to do a STEM degree,
Mhm.
and they did STEM foundation in King's, and they knew that they want to apply to King's afterwards for
Oh
undergrad.
yeah,
and
in
then,
this
like,
case, yeah.
yeah, you just have to pass 65%.
Mhm.
And, yeah. But I pay a lot of respect for people who did IB and A level. I feel it's way harder, and
Well, not the ones that did it during COVID.
You do 6 subjects.
Right.
And I mean, it's 1 in each category. So you have to take English, math, and then you have math. You could do stats, you could do theory, so you could do calculus,
So
and then 4 more subjects in like sciences and things like that. So for each subject, you then need to hand in a piece of coursework while studying, and also your final exam. And then on top of that, there is this thing called creativity activity, and I think
right,
service.
that sounds very hard to be fair.
Yeah.
this is the hardest one, guys.
The easiest one.
This is all great, but did you consider the possibility of IB being less in depth compared to A level?
So in IB we have a division between higher level and standard level. So higher level means that, for example, in math, I was required to do a higher level degree. Or higher level, take it as a higher level. And I'd say it's above A level, not above further maths, but above A level maths.
Right.
But I know for a fact that when I finished my standard level physics and my friend did A level physics, we went out with basically the same knowledge.
I'm ready to
Yeah,
do
I
a
mean-
physics
I mean-
exam against you. I did physics.
Yeah.
Yeah, women in STEM.
Yes, sir.
The one
Okay.
thing that would be interesting to hear is there's a common misconception, or maybe it isn't a misconception, that the American school system lags behind the world by a mile.
I agree, it does.
Is that true? Like, do
But-
you just learn like basic algebra in your last year of high school? Is that
literally.
true?
No, the thing is, American schooling, well, I feel like this is a discussion for another topic and another podcast, but there's a problem with the American system that the taxes to the governmental schools are allocated based on the town that is lived in. For example, you will have 2 towns that are neighbors, and they will have completely different levels of schooling. In one school, there's going to be all professors, all doctors who are teachers. It's going to have great education. It's going to be very funded. Another one is going to be extremely underfunded, and they're going to be in a proximity of 3 kilometers away from each other. So the education overall absolutely lags behind, but there's also some nuances there because there's going to be a differences in the schools itself, even in the public curriculum.
Damn, so at least we can agree that Amalia had it easier than everyone.
No, I don't.
Just the
I
same.
went. No. I went to. Well, the thing is, I was moving states a lot, and the last state I moved in, we specifically moved. Knowing this, we specifically moved to a town that had extremely competitive and extremely good school. And the thing is, I was preparing to go to an American university, so I was really, really working hard on my application, which I didn't need to work as hard because basically my for me to enter King's, it really was really easy.
Amalia, why London? Briefly.
Well, why London? Because it has a lot of opportunities, like this Ukrainian Society. I mean, it has a very strong Ukrainian population, which I was looking for community, which I lacked in the United States. 2, there's a lot of, for my degree, I'm studying international relations, so you obviously need to communicate with a lot of people and you need to make your connections to even understand and feel the field better. And I just thought that being literally in the global capital would be the best for it.
That's cool. That's cool.
I get why you asked the question, but just briefly, have you ever been outside of London?
Like, yeah, Yes.
Did you enjoy it?
No, like I
No, exactly.
I enjoy London only in the
You
UK,
didn't
and
enjoy
UK is
Edinburgh?
London centric.
It's a
Huh?
bit-
I actually
No,
was
the
like
considering.
it was good, but not.
No,
I
friends
was
like
living.
living there, yeah.
No,
It's
I
different
would-
to London,
I wouldn't
like-
mind actually. I was considering between Edinburgh and London, and I really.
I asked
Well,
like
Scotland has its own vibe
yeah,
for
fair
sure.
point.
Yeah.
I wanted to, since we're all in King's right now, and we're all in the same kind of British educational system on the same level, let's kind of talk about how would, because I feel some Ukrainian people might listen to this podcast.
Well,
And
hopefully.
hopefully,
Well, if you.
if you're here, hello. But yeah, I wanted to ask, what do you think are the differences between Ukrainian system and UK system in terms of university education? Because I feel like there is a lot of differences. I just want
There
to.
is a lot of differences.
Yeah, I can start 1st.
Mhm.
I feel that. So what I wasn't expecting is that there's like a lot of self-studying here, and there's like only. I mean, it really depends on what degree you're doing, but most of the times there is only a few modules that you're doing, and it's usually like 1 hour seminars, 1 hour lectures, and then you have like a lot of readings. But really up to you whether you're gonna read them or not. If you actually want to go deeper into learning a subject you want to do, you will spend a lot of time in library studying by yourself, reading all the books and talking to, I don't know, your peers, or going to the office hours to talk to the lecturers, professors. But if you don't want to do it, no one's gonna force you. And there's like, the grades here are only for, I mean, for me, because I'm doing humanitarian kind of degree, so I have like 2 or 1 assignment per module, and this is my only grade that I get. So I don't have grades for homework or anything like this, which kind of have like its own benefits and some negative aspects here.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I like that. First of all, we never studied in like Ukrainian universities, so we cannot really compare our experience. But from what I've heard and from what I remember from school, is that what I like about UK is that here on the seminars, for example, you do not have like something right or wrong that you can say. So, yeah. So you are not like pushed to learn the rules in humanitarian maybe degrees mostly, but you are pushed to think and express your opinion and like give some evidence of why you think so. And I think that's the biggest difference here with the Ukrainian one.
It's like feel that your opinion will be heard, because I remember in school on my kind of like liberal arts subject in Ukraine, we've been told to write an essay, and then there was like a wrong and right answer to the essay, and that would never happen in UK university, because like every answer is a right answer.
Yeah.
See,
But at the same time, it's really hard when you do not have like right answer.
Yeah,
That's
well,
why you
it
do
is
a
really
STEM
hard, yeah.
degree.
Yeah. I mean, like for us, and I feel that it really pushes you to educate yourself a lot more than when you have like some frames. in which- Yeah.
Straightforward.
You mentioned the Ukrainian school, and I just recalled how I don't know if it was the same for you guys, but at the Ukrainian language class, they would always require you to write 2 pages worth of like an essay or whatever it is.
Mhm.
So if you want to get, at least for me, they would always tell me if you want to get more than 10, which is like average.
average is
in
like
Ukraine.
8 or 9.
Yeah, it's not-
Okay, well,
Depends on school.
average, good average.
Yeah, good
Stable
average.
yeah.
Mhm.
They would always tell me, if it's less than 2 pages worth of text, it's going to be less than 10.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And I remember in year 9 coming up to my English language teacher, and I was like, well, we were assigned the first essay, and I was like, well, how long should it be? How many pages? I was like, well, that depends what you have to say and what you think, and like the thought process, And I'm like, well, you don't understand. I need the clear guidelines of how much should I write. Yeah, so I think it just shows the difference between the 2 systems, and
Yeah. Because why I say that, when I came to foundation and to all this British system, I was like I struggled a lot because I was got used to some straightforward teachers who say everything to you, but here everyone is like so
Polite.
Polite, for example. And I believe that's good.
Which is a great thing. I mean, honestly, I know sometimes we miss like teachers being mean to students who are slacking off.
Do you remember COVID and
it's
breakout
first year.
rooms?
Oh my god,
It was horrifying. It was so humiliating because like sometimes I would be like, all right, I'm really bored right now, like I genuinely want to talk to someone, and then like we go to breakout rooms, and then for example like I try to start the conversation
and everyone's silent,
and like there's obviously no like videos,
no
cameras on. So it was so humiliating.
I remember at school every morning we would have like a tutor session, so like just a 30-minute catch up of all the sort of the people with our tutors, 10 of us or so. And then every single time, obviously no one would have their cameras on, no one would have their mics unmuted, and like he would carry on talking, and then he would be like, "Is anyone here?" And no one would unmute. So he'd be like, just like, "All right then."
And they can do nothing.
I'll just carry on. I always felt so bad. I wanted to
but
honestly
you still didn't unmute yourself.
Yeah,
I did not. Yes, I'm one of those people.
Pressure.
Yeah. Overall, I think like in Ukraine, the education system also has a lot of good professors, and it's kind of strong in some and useful in some universities. But like there are many areas for improvement, definitely. And but we now have a new minister of education, so probably something going to change.
Yeah, I mean that's the right time to sort of reform the education system, I'm sure. Ukraine
Is
has
it sarcasm?
the Ukrainian education system should be a priority at the moment. No, I'm joking.
I mean,
I
it
agree.
should be.
It should always be a priority.
Because if everyone
Overall,
leaves Ukraine now because of the pure
I mean, people
education
leaving
system.
Ukraine not only because of education system, they also leave.
Yeah, but if it was better, maybe someone would
I know.
rethink their choices.
Yeah, but like,
I
mean, okay, that we're getting political. Let's get
Yeah,
out of
no
it.
I mean, why
politics.
not?
Okay, how about
It's a different podcast.
Okay, I think another interesting thing for our listeners, especially the ones who are based in Ukraine right now, would be to hear about the student life in London, because that is a major part of the appeal of London universities. That is why I'm here, for example. So
One word, expensive.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, generally like if you are listening to it right now and you're deciding to go to UK university, especially
Don't.
like London University.
Probably better to go somewhere else, not London.
Yeah, but like if you're going to London, prepare to pay a lot.
There are
Like,
a lot of
you're
ways
gonna
to
have
save
a lot.
though.
There are, but
You just
still
have to be
like,
smart about
especially if you're coming
Rent.
from Ukraine and you're comparing
Yeah.
everything to hryvnias, it's insane.
It's insane.
It is.
I
It
don't
is.
think that's a reasonable thing to do anyway.
No,
Ukraine being the poorest country in Europe, and then UK being one of the richest. So I think
especially London.
it should be a culture shock for sure. I agree. But
But it is kind of expected.
it's kind of expected, yeah. at the end
But
of
the
day.
problem is,
Like,
it truly is really expensive. And the thing is, the expenses I think come from like the day-to-day living. That when you're not a student at university, you don't realize that your parents are paying for it. I think when you actually turn to like use your own, like you start tracking your expenses, just like groceries.
Transport as well,
transportation,
London's
transportation is a whole. I have a bone to pick with that. They are so expensive for no. For a reason. They're very good. But still, it's great because like you
Is
always
it
have your
good
parents
though?
pay for it. You don't really think about it before.
I mean, but a good thing is also that you can work with student visa in the UK, which you
Yeah.
can't do in many countries as a
Yes.
student.
Can't
So-
you in other countries like European
Like I'm not
countries?
sure,
Do
but
only
I heard that
student
UK
jobs.
is one
Oh.
of the like best in this.
Yeah.
I think you can work like 20 hours
per week.
per week, but like if you have Ukrainian scheme or something, you can just work.
I mean,
Which
even
are-
20 hours per week, of course, you're not going to be able to sustain yourself.
Yeah,
on
but
it,
it's at
it,
least
it can be a
something.
great help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And many, for example, student jobs are, especially in King's. Well, I'm speaking for King's right now, but in multiple universities, they're paying quite livable wages. So they're not even paying the minimum wage. So, for example, I actually am interviewing for like some student jobs, and I think they're paying from around like 13, 14 pounds an hour. Which again,
£14 an hour.
14 is
14.
like more than.
For the
lowest one.
context, the minimum wage in London is like £9 right now an hour.
yeah. So I'm saying living
Yeah.
wage.
Yeah.
My job I'm making $10.50 an hour.
Yeah.
What job do
That's
you do?
Bartender.
Here at King's?
Oh.
Yeah,
No,
also
at
At King's.
In the vault, in the vault.
We should have.
oh yeah, we do have two. We have two
We
bars.
do have bar,
I'm
that's
still
the
thinking
thing.
an American system. Like, I cannot drink in America yet. Neither can you, by the way, guys.
Yeah, none of us.
Well, anyway,
Mr. President. Here.
let's not get too sad.
Yeah, I mean in terms of working and studying, it's very doable in the UK, because especially in first year, where most people might not take uni as seriously as they should, but when I was in first year, I was working up to 20 hours a week, just as a bartender again. Now that I'm in second, I'm working 12 hours a week.
Student life,
Student
yeah.
life.
Maybe those who are in the UK more than we are. Maybe you can share something, Nika.
Okay, so in university it's very different than how it was in school, because boarding schools in the UK are, well, you're not allowed to do a lot of things. I mean, when I went to my first school, my phone got taken at night, my iPad got taken
Catholic
at
girls'
night.
school.
We couldn't leave to go like to the city if it was less than 3 of us. So it had to be like 3 people to go into the city, and like you couldn't leave the little town, and you were just only allowed to go like the latest you could come it was like 6 p.m.
Sounds like prison.
Yeah, there were a lot of rules, and for example, if you wanted to make your own food, you could, but you still had to attend breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you couldn't like miss a meal or anything.
See, no
Yeah,
problem.
but uni, it's a completely different now. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
No, I feel like we should kind of focus on uni life, and like I think all of us can participate in it, because
Yeah.
it obviously has a lot more things to do.
I mean, London is very open for students. I feel that concentration of students here is very high. And
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
Especially in certain parts of London.
many like
Okay.
student accommodation, you can choose whatever you want. It's expensive, yeah, but like if you're moving to London, you're expecting something like this. So
You know what fascinates me the most in London is the fact that, because like my first year especially, I was really socially active, let's say it like this, and I was living in like accommodation, so I've made like a lot of friends, but I didn't have British friends. All of my friends were like international, and this is like the London is all about. It's like so many international people that sometimes you don't really realize that you are in the UK and you're in a capital because of how diverse and multicultural the city is. So it has its own benefits. I'm saying the same thing all over again about this is
a really good point.
yeah. But I want to say like it has good points, bad points. But it's like it's the outcome of a humanitarian degree. You always have to consider both sides. Yeah, so London is really a diverse and a multicultural city, and you might be introduced to British culture a little bit more, but maybe not. And maybe you're gonna have a lot of, I don't know, you're gonna be a part of a Ukrainian community more, or maybe a part of international community. It's really not straightforward. Yeah.
Well, when I joined King's, there was no Ukrainian Society at King's, as we all probably know. And because my school was sort of very British, there were very few international people. I didn't really interact with the Ukrainian people here in the UK, other than on the Ukrainian international flight to Gatwick, 3 hours 10 minutes. And
what's that time?
And the other thing is, in my first year, I mainly interacted with the British people. I didn't have any international friends. It might be economics.
I think it's
I don't know
economics.
if you can say, Simon, economics, a very sort of like British degree compared to all the other ones, or relatively at least.
Like, I have 0 English friends.
0 English.
Zero.
Right, here you go.
Yeah,
Maybe
so
it's just me.
See, like it really depends on.
degree.
It's not even degree, because they're doing the same degree. It's more of a context you're kind of like getting into
Yeah.
at the first
Yeah, I
place.
agree. I mean, it depends on
But-
like which kind of friend groups you're joining,
Yeah, but
what
it's not-
activities you're doing.
For sure, I would agree that it's very difficult for someone who comes to London to then get the Britishness out of London, if that makes sense, because there are many British people here because it's so diverse and international. But at the same time, in the university context, as you mentioned, the 2-hour lecture, 8 hours per week, and then you don't really get to interact with people unless you go out and you go and do like sports and stuff.
Yeah.
But even then, some courses are very international. My course are like 60-something% international body, which is it's insane.
I think King's more generally is 56% international.
I mean, it's in the name international relations, right? So you just
That's a good point.
So you would expect it, right?
See, that's what I'm here for. No, but I mean, in terms of just student life in general, how much time you have, I don't know, how do you guys, like, we're quite free now, and like, we have so much extra time.
No, none. I feel like I have none. I don't know why. It goes away because there's so many great things to do. I mean, again, a part of why.
Yeah.
Not even. I haven't during the freshers week. I haven't gone to a single club.
That's because you walk everywhere.
Maybe. Maybe no. But I mean, basically, the great part about London, especially if you're doing something that requires you to be with people, math, any degree requires you to have certain connections. But the thing is, because there's such a high concentration of any professionals of any field in the city, you will find something to do, you will find societies to join, events to join, people to talk to. I mean, it's great, and things to attend.
I mean, overall, London is very... You can always find whatever you want to do here. Like, even like cultural institutions, you can go to galleries for free, to any gallery
Which is
and
great,
exhibition.
Yeah. So like, it's crazy, the amount of people that you see and you meet is genuinely what makes London so appealing to so many students.
Yeah, this is true. The amount of possibilities here is crazy. And
Right.
I feel we can move on to our next topic of...
I feel like we should talk also about Ukrainian societies, because Ukrainian community of students in London is
we have a
kind of
great
really
community of
big
students.
and I would say strong in some way.
Extremely strong.
Yeah, so I feel it started since like the full-scale invasion and when everyone met each other on the protests. Like I met most of the Ukrainians on the protests, and then we just got together and did something. It was really... It wasn't a nice time, but it was like, I don't know.
A uniting
It helped
time.
a lot to leave this 2022. And I feel like, I don't know what I want to say, but I want to say that we have like a very nice Ukrainian societies right now, and it's very good. And yeah, what can you add?
And my dear listeners should join if you do come to London.
It got easier to get into UK as well, because before that was like abnormally expensive, and right now with all the special visas for Ukrainians, there's like Ukrainian students who want to apply to UK university, they are paying home fees, which is 9k instead of like twice more, at least like 20.
Like 23.
23, but then like if you're doing a STEM degree, it's
up to
more. It's
30.
like 30, 35.
For like chemistry or something.
I've talked to a girl recently, and she's been doing, she's in King's as well, she's a 5th year of medicine.
Damn.
Wow.
She's paying,
4 years.
she's not paying that amount, but she's saying that the people that are applying to do medicine right now, they're paying 60k a year.
60?
In the UK?
60?
And then imagine, and then you go and work in NHS for like £12 an hour.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like,
Well,
I
If
mean,
you're doing
obviously,
medicine, you're gonna...
yeah, like obviously in the
Yeah,
future,
quite-
but it's
Yeah,
like
but
it's an
still.
investment in like long-term investment for like
Extremely long term.
the family.
It's a lot of student debt for people who can't,
Yeah,
who are
yeah.
taking debt.
Yeah, a lot of students like this. Yeah,
Wow.
and I mean Ukrainians also have this opportunity to take dubs in UK to study in UK universities. But yeah,
Is anyone here on international fees?
Not right now.
not right now.
Well, me in year 1.
You can switch and then
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, they offered me to switch, and I was like, yeah, sure. Let's say
That's saving money.
£40,000. as well, yeah.
So some of us are third years, some of us are second years, some of us are first years.
Yeah, I think we introduced ourselves when we said that.
Maybe, like, come on,
Maybe
who would
someone-
remember?
Yeah. But
cares?
the question is, where do you see yourself after you finish your undergraduate degree?
Is this like a job interview or something?
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
What's your plan for the next 20 years?
20. I don't know what's happened tomorrow.
Long-term planning.
You want to
Okay.
start?
Yeah, let's go with like high, like not highest, but like
Seniority.
seniority. Let's go off of that.
All right.
Well, that of course depends on many sort of factors. How the situation in Ukraine plays out within the next 2 years or so. What I would like for myself is to get a job here in London for the next 5 years ish, and then see what sort of opportunities the European Union and the United States come up with when it comes to rebuilding Ukraine. In terms of what sort of field I would, well, given my degree, I would most likely go into some sort of banking, whether it's commercial or, well, definitely not investment. I value my time a little bit as well, but
And mental health.
some sort of consultancy could be nice, yeah, for sure. Although I am planning to doing masters next year here in London as well.
And LSE, right?
Well, hopefully London Business School.
One more LSC guy.
Where's London Business School?
It's like city-ish.
Like Baker Street, Sherlock Holmes.
Baker Street and City
Is it?
different.
Yeah, it's close. It's close to Baker Street.
song.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, yeah, Imperial, LSE, UCL, and then on the bottom KCL.
Okay, sorry, I'm gonna cut in, but that's so weird to me how people just reveal which colleges they are applying to, because that's like the difference in the culture. I think it's so common for people here to just ask me which colleges I was applying to, and I was like, do you want me to list like the whole 27 too? But also like it's such a private thing in America, at least, or in the school that I was in.
Why?
Because basically people value, well, it's also a part of my school culture, which is extremely toxic around academics, but people kind of look at you differently if you're going to a good university, or if you like have higher grades or better or better extracurricular activities or something like this, which is now, like, I first moved to London and I'm going to like these socials, and people, the first thing they ask, or not the first thing, but it's just so casually they ask, oh yeah, which university I was applying to, and I'm like, I'm choking on my food from the shock, and I was like, wow, you're really asking me this right now. Sorry, it was just like a
It's
thrill.
the same thing
People are
with
open here.
grades and like what I've experienced here as well, because like for me, obviously, like in Ukrainian system, it's like normal that the teacher like comes with all the notebooks
Right,
and
I
like
remember
shout
that.
out all the grades, and then like
Yes.
everyone's
The
embarrassed.
The trauma.
But then like here you don't really talk about your grades because it's really like personal and private.
What's worse is when the teacher comes and goes from the highest grade to the
Yeah.
lowest grade,
And you're the
s-
lowest
and you're
one.
and you can hear everyone who's gotten the highest grade, and you're just sitting and you're waiting. Okay,
That's
6,
fair.
no, not
I
6,
remember-
5, not 5.
Oh my god, I remember we had an exhibition of the best works in my like 5th grade, and they were standing like this, you know, and you did an essay, and the highest grade, like if you received 12, your like, how it's called, notebook is on the
On the top?
exhibition.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Oh.
everyone can
I
come
imagine.
and
Oh my
read
God.
it. It's so crazy.
Yeah, like UK would never.
Yeah.
But it's also
Well, having said that, we have posters of people
I was
who did really well in some of the departments. So
But
it
you
comes
really
to-
like
that's
they
like
ask
Olympiads
for
and
your
stuff.
consent before they do it.
Yeah.
Like Ukrainian like schools.
There's
are
no
more-
such
True,
thing
that's
as
true.
consent for like revealing academic grades in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They had the wrong kind of teachers. I remember my teachers were so chill.
No, then okay.
Okay.
How about you, Lila? How do you see your future?
My future. Well, I'm kind of I still have my Ukrainian visa till like. No, probably I'm not gonna say this because it's kind of too private.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
that's
My
fine.
identification
We can
number is.
Social security.
My name is Walter White. Yeah, my future is probably I'm gonna stay here for a little bit longer, because I still believe that the opportunities here are way more broad than in Ukraine, and like, because I want to work, I see myself in more like creative industry, so, and obviously like there's so many jobs available here, so I would love to find a job as soon as possible, or some internship or placement, and then work here, but then eventually come back to Ukraine, because I see my future in Ukraine, yeah, probably learn as much as I can here, and then go back and do some business, because I feel like business is easier to do in Ukraine than here. And it's also in terms of like life purpose, I feel that no one, and me personally, like I don't feel like I really belong here for 100%, and I don't feel like me doing something here would benefit the culture, and I don't really want this culture to benefit, because in the end of the day, I'm not a British person, and I'm Ukrainian, and I want to develop my country, and yeah, so in terms of those factors, I'll probably like come back to Ukraine and at some point.
Very patriotic. Very commendable for sure.
Alright, should we just go in a circle, Nika?
I can go next. So, yeah. Okay, so
circle.
well, I want to finish my university here. I want to do a master's degree here as well, and maybe work for a year or two. But I definitely feel like there are just more opportunities for me in Ukraine than in this country. And as Lilia said, me too, I don't feel like I belong in this country. I can't imagine being like 30 years old or 35 and living like in London. I just can't imagine myself living like that. So I would prefer to go back to Ukraine. And I really hope that the situation will allow me to.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, every time I imagine my future, I can't imagine it in London or something. I only can imagine it in Ukraine or in Kyiv or somewhere, you know. Yeah, for me, I feel like many good and bad things in my life happened only because I'm Ukrainian. And I do really want to, like, you know, come back and contribute to my country, as much as it sounds like very patriotic, but it is what it is. But I will definitely do masters, and as all of us, as they say, and probably then work here for some time. And because like London has so much to offer, and if you are just studying here and not using the opportunities to like gain this experience that you can use to, you know, to work in your country and bring something there, then what's the purpose of studying here, you know? And yeah, so I think in long term I will definitely come back to Ukraine, because I can't imagine living anywhere else for now. Probably something gonna change, but yeah.
Well, what I would like to do, there's a couple of options for me. It would be nice to get a job after uni for a couple of years at the investment bank, asset management, anything like that, just to save up a little bit. And then my kind of long-term goals would be a startup in any department, in anything, just something that I can do myself and grow myself, and it's an environment that I really like. But I do really want to go to Ukraine. So depending on how the situation unfolds, there's going to be massive opportunities in redevelopment, and especially in the technological sector, there's going to be a lot of work to do to get us up to par with, you know, with other standards in computer science and in banking. Though Ukrainian fintech has been getting a lot of attention recently, so we'll see where that goes. But yeah, it would be something.
So would you consider moving, you know, long term to Ukraine?
Yeah, for sure.
Provided the war is over.
Yeah. I've had that, and like I really wanted to go since I was little. So I've never lived there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's so good that our generation wants to come back. Like almost all of us wanna some way come back to Ukraine and live there, work there, and build something there, and that's really inspiring.
Especially now, I think.
Yeah.
And I think we're just all waiting for it to be over. That as soon
We're
as
not
we get
just
the
waiting,
opportunity.
not
we're
waiting
doing
for it,
something
yeah.
for it. We're collecting money for the drill.
Which you
yeah.
should
Please
do.
donate.
We're doing other fundraising events and planning them as well. So
So you should attend.
yeah.
I feel that's a good point to end this episode.
Yes.
And yeah, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram, kcl.ukr.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.